Okay, so what I want to go over right now is how to build a Mad Lib in Python. So you can come up with your own, or you can look up a Mad Lib that already exists. On the right-hand side of my screen, I've got one. If you do this, you have to cite the source. So I'm going to copy the link over here, and I'm going to say source for Mad Lib and paste that link. Even if it's very long, I'm just going to paste it up here. Now, um, the hashtag at the front of that line makes it a comment in the code. So anytime there's a hashtag up front, idle will mark it in a certain color. By default, it's red. And that will prevent that line from actually happening. So let's get started. If you were to copy parts of this Mad Lib, you would need to leave space for the user to enter in things like adjectives, nouns, and plural nouns. But you don't want to read the Mad Lib or print it back to the user until they're done answering all of the blanks. So you want to ask them, give me an adjective, which would fill in this one. And before you print out the rest of the sentence, you want to say, give me a noun, and then give me a plural noun. And by the end of the Mad Lib, you'll have all of these stored as variables, and the whole thing will print out as if the words they chose were written right here. So the way I suggest you do this is to use comments. We'll use a hashtag up here and say questions go here, and then we'll give ourselves some space, and then down here we'll say Mad Lib prints out below. Now, all of our questions and all of our adjectives and nouns and all those variables will go up here. So let's start from the beginning. We know we're going to have to ask for an adjective. So we're going to make a variable, adj. Here's the problem. I have an adjective here, and here, and here, and probably lower down as well. So we need to keep our variables in order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this one adj1. I know it looks like an L, right? But it's actually the number 1. adj1 equals. And we can use this function called input to ask our user to type in an answer to a question. So our question will be, give me an adjective. Our next question will be a noun. So we'll do a similar thing, noun1 equals input, give me a noun. Down here, we're going to ask for a plural noun. So I might do plural noun 1, or you can come up with your own variable. You could do PL noun 1 equals input, give me a plural noun, right? And we could keep going through this, but for the purposes of this, I'm just going to do the first 2 sentences. So here are where all of our questions go to fill in the blanks, and then after our user has finished answering all of those questions, we are going to print out the Mad Lib. So all we do is do a print and say what the text is. There are many, and every time we reach one of those blanks, we leave a space between the word, here we see between the word many, and then we add together that first string with this variable adj1. So we're going to add those together. There are many, and then adjective 1. And then we're going to start our next string, ways to choose a, and then plus noun 1 to read. Now you see how my editor is kind of running. It's starting to scroll from left to right. What I usually suggest students do is when the sentences get too long, just press enter, go to the next line. You're going to have to close your parentheses, and then you're going to want to write another print statement and just start your next sentence. So first, you could ask for a recommendation from your friends, and we're going to add in the variable plural noun 1. Notice how every time I add a variable, I put pluses on either side of it. So what am I doing? I'm adding together the green text with the answers to these questions, ADJ1, noun 1, plural noun 1. Those are the variables storing the answers to those questions. And when I add them together, I have to put a plus sign in front of that variable to add it to this string. And I have to put a plus sign behind the variable to add it to the string behind it. So let's run this program and see what we get. I'm going to run it. We'll save it to the desktop. I'll call this, Mad Libs, and then my initials. And here we go. So it's going to ask me to give me an adjective. So we'll say tall, give me a noun, cat, give me a plural noun, kids, right? And we get the output for our Mad Lib. So is this the funniest Mad Lib in the world? Probably not. But you might be able to make a better Mad Lib than I did. In fact, I'm sure that you will.